Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursaleen, Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Let's continue where we left off. We have been studying, doing complete linguistic analysis of just this small segment of a larger verse. Lillahi ala nasi hijjul bayt. We looked at the word hijj. We looked at, that's the sarf. And then we looked at some grammar. We looked at lam harf jar. We looked at different types of lam. We looked at the word Allah in grammar, and we're going to look at the word Allah again from the dictionary perspective. Then we looked at shibhul jumla lillahi. We talked about how it is khabar. Then we looked at ala, and we looked at how it's harf jar and what is its asl meaning and how it's appearing as majazan huna, to be superior, to be above. Then we wanted to look at al, and then we said, okay, let's go to QL5 and look at all the different types of al, which we did. And we focused primarily on al-jinsiyya and al-ahdiyya, and we briefly looked at al-mawsuliyya. So the question is, which type of al is this? Well, which al am I talking about? Let's go back to the verse. I'm talking about the al that you see here in the word annas. And by the way, there's a second al here in al-bayt. We will look at both of these types of al in this segment of a larger verse. Annas, the people. Is that a fair translation? It depends on what is meant by al. So the al here, fihi wajhan, there are two ways to look at the al of annas. It's either al-ahdiyya or al-dhihniya. It's either al-ahdiyya, al-dhihniya, which we just talked about. Ay mu'minu annas. The people that are being addressed are the believers, because that's in our mind. In our mind, we know this requirement of Hajj is on the people. Which people? The believing people, the Muslims. Mu'minu annas. So this al can be classified as ahdiya, dhihniya. We have the knowledge of this al because it's in our mind, because we know this verse is addressing the believers. It's not addressing Christians and Jews. We assume that, and that's why you will see in this discussion in the tafsir. The other opinion, which is just as valid, is it's not ahdiya, it's al-jinsiyya, al-istighraqiyya lil-afrad. It is genus that is encompassing all members of the genus. In other words, every human being. If that's true, it would mean kullu unasin, every human being is required to do Hajj. Muslim, kafir. The kafir could be Jew, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, atheist. So then a question appears, okay, if this verse is applying to Jews, Christians, how do we understand that? Are Jews required to do Hajj? We know only Muslims are required to do Hajj, right? So how do we understand that? If this al is al-jinsiyya, al-istighraqiyya lil-afrad, it includes every human being. We can literally say kullu unasin haqiqatan. So then we have to look at these top mufassirun and see how they make sense of this. And I found this beautiful opinion by Al-Imam Al-Razi. In his tafsir, he says, Zahirul lafz, the face of it, the outward meaning of the lafz, Zahirul lafz yaqtadi, necessitates ijabahu, making it obligatory, ala kulli insanin. So Imam Razi, when he looked at this al of annas, he said it looks like the face value, zahirul lafz, what the apparent meaning of the word is, that it is necessitating making it obligatory ala kulli nas. Notice how Imam Razi used the word kull. Where did he get the word kull? Because he knows the type of al that he's talking about is al jinsiya, al istighraqiyya, lil afrad, and it has the meaning of kull haqiqatan. So that's why he's in his tafsir he mentions kulli insan, kulli nas, or kulli unas, right? Unas is singular. Yastati'uhu, who is capable of doing Hajj. But then he explains, so first he says what the apparent face value of the word is, and then he explains why it looks like it's for every human being. وَتَعْمِيمُ التَّكْلِيفِ, this expression means generalization, generalizing the obligatoriness. Ta'meem, generalizing. Taklif, obligation or obligatoriness. Yadullu indicates shiddatul ihtimam. So he's saying this generalization of obligation to all human beings indicates shiddatul ihtimam, extreme or strong ihtimam, concern or care. So Hajj is so important that Allah has used the word annas, and according to Al-Imam al-Razi, this, even though it seems to outwardly indicate that it's obligatory on all human beings, but he interprets it to mean shiddatul ihtimam. This could be thought of as a type of mubalagha. That Hajj is so serious, so important that Allah used the word annas, which seems to mean all human beings, but the true meaning is that shiddatul ihtimam, according to Imam al-Razi. Now, the ulama have two opinions when it comes to furu', the details of Sharia. One opinion says al-kuffaru mukhatabun, another opinion says al-kuffaru ghayru mukhatabin. Are the kuffar required to follow our Sharia or not? There are two opinions. The majority opinion, or the stronger opinion, I believe, is the one that says the kuffar are not required to follow our Sharia, with some exceptions where you have, murder and theft. Theft, maybe not sure about that, but murder and zina, they're not allowed to do that. This is talking about kuffar who live in Muslim lands. The stronger or the majority opinion says that they don't have to do five daily prayers or pay zakat or do saum or hajj. So if you go with that opinion, then this al is ahdiya dhihniya. We have the knowledge of who is being addressed, and that is mu'minu an-nas, the believing people. Another important point to note here is that Ibrahim alayhi salam was also asked during his time to do adhan, call people to hajj. So this verse has the word annas. Annas could also mean not just the believing people, which are Muslims, but also the people who heard the call of Ibrahim alayhi salam. They were also required to come to do hajj and respond to him. Because Allah says in the Quran, وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was also أَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ. In Surah Al-Hajj, verse 27, أَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ. Ibrahim alayhi salam also was asked to call everyone to Hajj. And when he made the adhan, when he called people to Hajj, everyone miraculously on the earth heard him. And so all the people during his time are also possibly included in this al of annas. Wallahu ta'ala alam. So this is a beautiful application of the different types of al in this segment of a larger verse. Lillahi ala nas, annas. So what have we talked about so far? We've talked about the lam, the word Allah. We still have more to talk about. The word ala. We looked at the word lillahi. So we looked at three words. Annas is two words. Al followed by nas, that's five words. And we still have more to talk about. some of those, and Hijjul Bayt. And we haven't gotten into the other branches of linguistics. We've only talked about Sarf and part of Nahu. We still have more Nahu grammar to do. We still have Balagha to do, and Qira'at, and a lot of Lugha. Inshallah, we'll look at that. So this 2-page At-Tahlil Lughawi Al-Kamil is actually quite detailed, and inshallah ta'ala, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, this is the most advanced and most comprehensive linguistic analysis, inshallah, that you will ever see in a book that I know of. And I can't think of any more. Everything I know I've tried to incorporate here, inshallah, so we can get a full, total, integrated analysis from all branches of Arabic linguistics. والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.